Welcome back to Chasing Masculinity, the podcast where we explore what it means to live with purpose, integrity, and faith as men navigating the challenges of today's world. I'm your host, Colton Wutzke, and as always, I'm honored to have you join me on this journey of growth and discovery. Today, we're diving into Rule 13. Your definition of success and happiness will and should change regularly. Regular self-evaluation drives better practices. This rule might challenge some of our traditional notions of success, but it's an important conversation about growth, self-awareness, and staying true to our values as we navigate life's challenges. Years ago, my vision of success was crystal clear, or at least I thought it was. I pictured myself in a sleek penthouse overlooking the city with floor-to-ceiling glass walls and polished marble floors. It was the epitome of that high life, a symbol of success that I had built up in my mind. But that vision began to shift when my wife and I bought our first home. The process wasn't just about finding a house, it was about redefining what success and happiness truly meant for us. Suddenly, it wasn't about the penthouse or the skyline views. It became about creating a warm, inviting space, a home where we could raise our children, build memories, and share life with the people that we love. This experience reminded me that success isn't static. It evolves as we grow, as our priorities shift, and as we face new experiences. What once seemed like the ultimate goal may no longer hold the same meaning. And that's not a failure, it's a sign of growth. And that's why evaluation is so important. It's the foundation for personal growth and adaptability. Without regularly stepping back to assess where we are, what we value, and where we're headed, we risk chasing goals that no longer align with who we've become. Self-evaluation keeps us grounded, focused, and aligned with our evolving definitions of success and happiness. As we dive into this topic, I want to anchor today's discussion with the verse from Proverbs 16:9. In their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. This reminds us that while we may set goals and pursue success, it's through reflection and faith that we align our path with God's greater plans for our lives. So stick around because in today's episode, we're going to explore how to recognize when your definition of success needs to change and how to use self-evaluation as a tool for growth, as well as learn how to embrace the beauty of an ever-evolving journey. Let's get started. All right, today we're talking about Rule 13. Your definition of success and happiness will and should change regularly, and how self-evaluation plays a vital role in grounding that evolution. Let's start by defining self-evaluation. At its core, self-evaluation is the process of reflecting on where you are, measuring your progress, and recalibrating your goals to align with your current values and circumstances. Think of it as a personal compass that helps you navigate the twists and turns of life. Without it, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters and get stuck chasing outdated versions of success. An initial self-assessment is like setting a starting point on a map. If you don't know where you are, how can you figure out where to go next? Taking stock of your current position, whether it's in your career, relationships, health, or faith, provides the clarity you need to move forward with purpose and confidence. It's not just about identifying what's working, it's about understanding what isn't and making adjustments accordingly. There's a powerful biblical story that illustrates the importance of self-evaluation, the parable of the prodigy son from Luke 15. You may remember the story. After squandering his inheritance on reckless living, the younger son finds himself destitute, feeding pigs, and longing for the scraps they eat. In that moment, he has a pivotal self-evaluation. Luke 15:17 says, "When he came to his senses, he said, 'How many of my father's hired servants have food to spare, and here I am starving to death?'" That realization, the acknowledgement of his current position, leads him to return to his father in humility and seek a new path. His self-evaluation was the turning point that led to restoration and growth. But let's be honest, self-evaluation isn't easy. It's much easier to just coast through life without having to really apply this critical thinking on yourself. There are common barriers that make it difficult for us to take an honest look in the mirror. Discomfort's a big one. It's never fun to confront our weaknesses or admit where we've fallen short. It feels vulnerable and at times painful. But remember, growth doesn't happen in comfort. As Proverbs 27:17 reminds us, as iron sharpens iron, so does one person sharpen another. The friction of self-evaluation sharpens us into better men. Fear of failure is another roadblock. We worry that acknowledging where we failed means we're not good enough. But failure isn't the end, it's just another stepping stone to growth. As Thomas Edison said, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." When we approach self-evaluation with humility and courage, we transform failures into lessons. And then there's the issue of time, or rather the perceived lack of it. Life moves fast, and it's easy to put self-reflection on the back burner. But let me encourage you, taking even 5 minutes to pause and reflect can yield clarity and direction that saves you countless hours of frustration down the road. So, how do we overcome these barriers? Start small. Choose one area in your life to evaluate, whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal habits. Ask yourself honest questions like, what's working, what's not, what can I do differently? Remember, self-evaluation isn't about tearing yourself down, it's about building yourself up with that intention. It's about aligning your actions with your values and evolving into the man God created you to be. We've talked about the importance of self-evaluation and how it serves as the foundation for growth. Now, let's get more specific and explore the key factors to consider when evaluating yourself, because understanding these can make all the difference in how you grow and adapt. The first thing that really helped me is personal tendencies and understanding what they are. We all have unique rhythms and behaviors that shape our strengths and weaknesses. Recognizing these tendencies is a crucial step in self-evaluation because they provide insight into what's helping or hindering your progress. For example, I've learned that my peak productivity hours are the first few hours after I wake up, especially if I've had a workout to kickstart my day. On the flip side, I know that after 8 p.m. my energy levels drop significantly. Early on, I used to try tackling my most challenging tasks late at night, only to get frustrated by how much slower and less focused I was. Once I recognized this pattern, I started scheduling my high-priority tasks for those peak productivity windows. Or, if a fire came up that I had to deal with, I would try to postpone it if it is something that happened late at night and I would be better suited to tackle early the next day. It made a world of difference in how much I could get done and how good I felt about my work. And it's not just about productivity. How you respond to stress is another key tendency to evaluate. Some people thrive under pressure. It energizes them and pushes them harder to achieve more. Others just might immediately get overwhelmed and struggle to stay focused when the stress levels rise. Neither response is inherently good or bad, but understanding how you handle stress can help you plan and manage your workload more efficiently. You see, recognizing your tendencies isn't just about identifying what works, it's about making adjustments where you need. Maybe you notice you're more productive after a walk or after a coffee break, so you build those into your schedule. Or maybe you realize you avoid tackling big projects because they feel overwhelming, so you break them into smaller, manageable steps. There are small adjustments that you can make that will lead to those big improvements over time. Another critical factor in self-evaluation is your environment, the physical space you occupy, and the relationships you cultivate. These can have a profound impact on your growth. Let's start with environment. Ask yourself, is your workspace helping or hindering your focus? Is your home a place where you can relax and recharge, or does it add to your stress? Simple changes like decluttering your desk or creating a designated quiet zone can make that impact on your productivity and well-being. The people you surround yourself with will also play a massive role in shaping your mindset and habits. Are the people in your life encouraging your growth, holding you accountable, and inspiring you to aim higher? Or are they dragging you down with negativity, distractions, or just unhealthy habits? I've experienced both sides of this. There was a time when I surrounded myself with people who didn't share my drive or values. And while they weren't necessarily bad influences, they weren't pushing me to grow either. On the flip side, when I started intentionally seeking out mentors and friends who challenged me and supported my goals, my progress started to climb. Jim Rohn's quote comes to mind here: "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Choose wisely." Take some time to reflect on your personal tendencies, your environment, and your relationships. Where are you thriving? Where are you struggling? And most importantly, what changes can you make to set yourself up for success? Now I want to get really into the nuts and bolts of how to conduct a thorough self-evaluation, because this is where you will need to take a hard look at your life, celebrate your wins, confront your challenges, and just map out a plan for growth. The first step in any self-evaluation is understanding your current position. Think of it like a GPS. You can't chart a path to your destination unless you know where you're starting from. Take some time to reflect on key areas of your life: your career, health, spirituality, and relationships. For example, ask yourself, are you where you want to be professionally? Is your health in a place that supports your goals? Are you growing spiritually, or do you feel disconnected? How are your relationships? Are they thriving, or do they need more attention? Write these reflections down. Seeing them on paper brings clarity and helps you prioritize what you need to focus on. Once you've mapped out your current position, it's time to identify your strengths and weaknesses. And let me stress this: be honest with yourself. Self-evaluation is not the time for ego or excuses. It's about getting real so you can grow. Start with your strengths. What are you naturally good at? What skills or traits consistently help you succeed? For example, maybe you're a great communicator, or you have a knack for problem solving under pressure. List these out and think about how you can leverage them even more. The other side of this is weaknesses. This is where honesty is critical. Where are you falling short? Is it time management, procrastination, avoiding difficult conversations? Identifying your weaknesses isn't just about beating yourself up or finding the things on your to-do list that you just haven't had time to check off. It's about understanding where you need to improve. The goal here is clarity, not criticism. Next, take a moment to highlight your achievements. What have you accomplished that you're proud of? Maybe you landed a big promotion, or hit a big personal fitness milestone, or rebuilt a relationship that was struggling. Celebrating your wins is important because it builds momentum and reminds you that growth is possible. But don't just stop at celebration. Analyze those achievements. What did you do right? What habits and strategies led to your success? Understanding what worked will help you replicate it in other areas of your life. On the flip side, think about the areas where you've fallen short. What goals did you set but not achieve? And more importantly, why? Was it a lack of discipline, poor planning, or maybe external factors that you just couldn't control? Analyzing what went wrong isn't about assigning blame, it's about learning and strategizing for better outcomes in the future. Finally, let's talk about turning those weaknesses into strengths. This is where real growth will happen. For every weakness that you've identified, create an actionable plan to improve. For example, if time management is a struggle, start using a calendar or to-do list to structure your day. If you're avoiding a hard conversation, Practice by tackling smaller, less intimidating discussions first. The key is to turn awareness into action. Self-evaluation requires that brutal honesty. It's not about finding excuses or sugarcoating the truth. If you're not honest with yourself, you're only delaying your own growth. Remember, this isn't about judgment, it's about progress. The more honest you are, the more effective your self-evaluation will be. So here's your next step. Set aside time for a thorough evaluation. Reflect on where you are and what you've achieved, where you're struggling and where you want to improve. Write it all down. Don't just think about it. Make it real. And more importantly, be honest with yourself. So, how often should we be doing this self-evaluation? Honestly, there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It kind of just depends on your goals and your circumstances and how much change is happening in your life. For some, a quarterly deep dive might work perfectly, while others may find that monthly or even weekly check-ins keep them on track. The key is to stay flexible. Think of self-evaluation as a regular tune-up for your life. Just like a car needs different levels of maintenance based on how often it's driven, your life requires recalibration based on how fast you're moving and the direction you're headed. Sometimes, though, it's not about setting a schedule, it's about recognizing the moments that demand this self-reflection. Let's talk about some of the common triggers of self-evaluation that I've been able to find. First, there's just major life changes. Think about starting a new job, or getting married, or moving into a new city, or welcoming a child into your family. These moments often redefine what success and happiness look like, making them prime opportunities to reassess your goals and priorities. Next are milestone achievements. Let's say you've hit a big goal, like earning a promotion or paying off a debt. Achievements like these are worth celebrating, but they're also a signal to reflect and ask, what's next? Success isn't a finish line, it's a checkpoint. Use these moments to recalibrate and ensure that you're still moving in the right direction. Another one that's really helped me are the moments and feelings of dissatisfaction or stagnation. You know, that nagging sense that something's off, that you're stuck or unfulfilled? Don't ignore it. That feeling is a trigger to step back and evaluate your life and identify what you need to change. Here's another powerful tool for knowing when it's time to self-evaluate. External feedback. Sometimes we're too close to our own lives to see things clearly. That's where trusted individuals like your spouse, close friends, mentors, or even a pastor can make a huge difference. Some of the most pivotal shifts in my goals and mindset have come after a deep conversation with my wife. Her perspective has a way of highlighting things I've overlooked, whether it's a blind spot in my priorities or an opportunity that I had not considered. Those conversations often serve as a catalyst for a fresh round of self-evaluation. Let me make something clear. External feedback isn't about letting others dictate your life. It's just about gaining a new perspective. It's about seeing yourself through the eyes of the people who know you and want the best for you, and using their insights to guide your reflection. But always filter them through your own values and goals. So whether it's a scheduled check-in, a milestone, or a life change, don't let the opportunity for self-evaluation pass you by. These moments are gifts, chances to grow, adjust, and realign with the man you're striving to become. Think about when your last self-evaluation was. If it's been a while, set aside time this week to reflect. And if you're feeling stuck or unsure, reach out to someone you trust and have an honest conversation. Their perspective might actually be what you need to spark meaningful change. Morality is your compass. It's what ensures your actions, decisions, and goals align with your core values and beliefs. Without it, self-evaluation can easily become another self-serving exercise, focused only on what's convenient or immediately rewarding. But with morality as your guide, self-evaluation becomes a practice of integrity and purpose. Think of it this way. If self-evaluation is the map, morality is like true north. It helps you navigate through life's complexities, ensuring that even when the path ahead isn't clear, you're staying true to the principles that matter most. The Bible offers the most powerful wisdom on the role of morality in our lives. Take Proverbs 4:23 for example. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. This verse always reminded me that my thoughts, actions, and decisions all stem from the condition of my heart. If I'm not intentional about guarding it, about keeping my motivations pure and aligned with my values, that's when I find my actions reflecting that misalignment. This is why self-evaluation isn't just about what you've achieved or where you've fallen short. It's about why you're making the choices you're making. Are your decisions rooted in honesty, kindness, and faith, or are they driven by ego, fear, or selfishness? Let me use this example again. Imagine you're offered a promotion at work. It comes with a big pay raise, but it also demands significantly more hours, which could mean less time with your family. On paper, it might seem like an easy decision. Who wouldn't want the extra money? But when you evaluate it against your moral principles, things get more nuanced. If one of your core values is being present with your family, this decision becomes less about the paycheck and more about whether it aligns with the life you're trying to build. Or consider a situation where you're tempted to cut corners on a project to save time. It might seem harmless, but when you evaluate that choice against your principles, like integrity and excellence, you realize that taking shortcuts compromises not only the qualities of your work, but also your character. Here's the truth. It's not always easy to align your actions with your moral compass, especially when shortcuts or quick wins seem tempting. But every time you choose to act with integrity, you're reinforcing the man you want to be, someone who lives with purpose, faith, and honor. Here's the thing about self-evaluation. It's not a one-time event. It's not something that you do once and then forget about. To truly grow, you have to make it a consistent practice. Regular self-evaluation is like a personal maintenance check. It keeps you aligned with your goals, helps you spot areas for improvement, and ensures you're making progress toward the man you want to be. Life isn't static. Your circumstances, goals, and even your definition of success will change over time. Without regular self-evaluation, it's way too easy to lose sight of what's truly important and end up chasing things that no longer align with your values or aspirations. One of the biggest benefits I found of regular self-evaluation is that continuous personal growth. When you take the time to reflect on your actions, achievements, and challenges, you will gain valuable insights that help you refine your approach. It's not just about recognizing what's working, it's about identifying what's holding you back and making the necessary adjustments to move forward. The key is, while your goals may change, your foundation, your core values should remain constant. These values act as your anchor, guiding your decisions and keeping you grounded, no matter how much your circumstances evolve. By staying true to your values, you ensure that every change you make is intentional and aligned with who you are at your core. So how do you make self-evaluation a regular part of your routine? Let me share a few practical tips that I've implemented to try and help me navigate this challenge. The first one is to use journals or some sort of goal-setting app. One of the easiest ways to track your growth is by journaling. Set aside a few minutes each day or week to reflect on what went well, what didn't, and what you can do differently. If you're more tech-savvy, try using a goal-setting app to track your progress and set reminders for self-evaluation check-ins. I started doing this on Sundays as an evaluation of the previous week, and then also a review for the week to come and what I want to accomplish. The next is to set a schedule. Whether it's monthly, quarterly, or after major milestones, pick a regular interval for deeper self-evaluation. Block out time on your calendar and treat it like an appointment. This consistency helps you stay proactive and ensures that you're always moving in the right direction. The third is to reflect on constants and changes. During your self-evaluation, take a moment to reflect on what has stayed the same, like your core values, and what has changed, like your goals or circumstances. This balance between constants and changes is what keeps you aligned and adaptable. The fourth is to involve accountability partners. Sometimes it helps to bring someone else into the process. Share your goals and reflections with a trusted friend, mentor, or spouse. They can offer valuable perspectives and help hold you accountable to your commitments. Remember, self-evaluation isn't about being perfect, it's about being honest and intentional. It's about recognizing where you are, celebrating your progress, and committing to becoming better. So, how can you integrate this into your routine and all of those profound benefits into your life? It's time to put it all into action. The first actionable step you can take is to identify your daily tendencies. Take notes of the habits, behaviors, and routines that are either helping you grow or holding you back. This could be anything from when you're most productive to how you handle stress. Start observing these patterns and reflect on how they impact your progress. Next, I want you to either conduct an initial self-evaluation if you've never done one before, or revisit your last one if this is something you already practice. Set aside 15 to 30 minutes this week to really sit with yourself and reflect on where you are right now. Be honest, this isn't about perfection, it's about understanding your current position so that you can move forward. Then I want you to revisit your goals. Look at the aspirations you've set for yourself. Do they still reflect who you are and where you want to go? If not, adjust them. Your definition of success and happiness should evolve as you do, and there's no shame in changing direction if it means staying aligned with your values and purpose. Maybe you've been chasing a career milestone that no longer excites you, or you're working towards a fitness goal that really doesn't feel fulfilling anymore. Whatever it is, give yourself permission to redefine success in a way that feels authentic and meaningful to you today. Remember this, your definition of success will change, and that is a good thing. Growth means evolving, and as you grow, your goals and aspirations should grow with you. The key is to stay aligned with your values and to keep moving forward with intention. Don't fear change, embrace it as a sign that you're on the path to becoming the man you're meant to be. Self-evaluation is not just a tool, it is a duty. It is a commitment to yourself to stop and ask, am I living in alignment with who I want to be? This practice isn't about criticism, it's about clarity. It's about making sure that as your goals shift and your aspirations evolve, you remain rooted to your core values. My challenge to you is simple but powerful. Conduct your own self-evaluation. Look at where you are right now in your career, relationships, health, and faith. What's working? What's not? Be honest with yourself. And once you've done that, take it a step further. Reassess your goals. Are they still aligned with the man you're striving to become? If not, adjust them. Don't be afraid to let go of what no longer serves you. Finally, remember this. Change is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a sign that you're growing, adapting, and moving closer to your potential. Your definition of success and happiness will change, and that is a good thing. Lean into it with confidence and purpose. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Chasing Masculinity. I'm proud of you for showing up and doing the work to grow. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love to hear about it. Share your evaluation, insights, or goals on social media and tag me at Mr. Wutzke on Instagram and X. Let's keep this conversation going. Remember, the journey to becoming the man you're meant to be isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Stay reflective, stay adaptable, and stay true to your values. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep chasing masculinity.